Okay, so here let us see like how to use the switch. So let's see here now. Let's learn. Switch is a great replacement of long else if constructs. For example, here you can see that this is an example of a long else if construct. As you can clearly see that if x equals to 1, then print x equals 1, and else if x equals to 2, then we'll simply print x equals to 2, and if x equals to 3, then we'll simply print x is 3. Okay, else we will print x is neither other number other than 1, 2, 3. Okay, now definitely writing down these else if constructs many number of times is a quite cumbersome, right? So here is the good replacement, that is the switch. Okay, we can replace all this else if construct using this one switch construct. So now let's try to understand how this switch is gonna replace by these else if conditions. Okay, so see here, that is first it will check whether x is equals to 1 or not. That is where whatever that is there inside this switch is going to compare with this label 1. So this is case label, and just note down that all the cases are checked from top to bottom. From first to check case 1, case 2, case 3 will be checked, and all the cases will be checked by this x. And if x is equals to 1 or not, it will check, and if x is 1, then it will simply print this x get executed. Otherwise, if x is not equals to 1, then it will go to this 2 that I'm showing here. Okay, so it will go to the case 2, and it is going to print x is 2 will be printed, and so on. So, now if suppose none of the cases are satisfied, then the default statement is going to get executed. What is the default? That is, default is an optional one. It is not necessary to write the default inside the switch case, but if case is not equals to 1, 2, 3, then simply default is going to get executed, and the statement corresponding to the default will get executed, this printf. Okay, now let's say suppose that x equals to 1, then definitely this printf x equals to 1 will be printed. uh, After that, you can see that there is a statement called as break. This is important. Suppose there is no break after this printf function, then subsequent expression will also will get evaluated until we reach to the next break. What is mean by this? If there is no, suppose there is no break after this printf, then what's going to happen? Then this subsequent case also is going to get executed, that is printf x equals to 2 will also get going to get executed to is going to get executed going to get executed even though x is not equals to 2. Remember, therefore break is essential to put after this case in order to come out of this switch after printing this x equals to 1. Okay, so break is also optional. It is not necessary to put break immediately after this expression. Now let's consider this one. Facts related to the switch, that is yeah, let me show you. You are not allowed to add duplicate cases. Just note down these things. That is, for example, can I put here case 1? Okay, so never we should repeat the case, and hence you will get an encounter an error something like this: duplicate case values. So avoid writing the duplicate cases. Okay, so let's consider the fact number 2. Only those expressions are allowed in switch which result in an integer constant value. Very important. So see here the example. For example, if I'm writing, I have declared three variables here, a, b, and c, and I have assigned them some values, some 1, 2, 3, respectively. So inside this switch, I am writing a plus b into c, right? Which get evaluated to the 7. Fine. But because this expression evaluates to an integral constant, so we can write this expression inside the switch. now because 7 is not available inside this switch, obviously the default is going to get executed, so it will be printing default. Okay, the output will be default. Okay, but here on the other hand, if you can see, if I am declaring some three variables of the type of float data type, and of course this expression will give me a float value, and this is not allowed. Okay, so as we have already said you that, I've already said you that those expressions are allowed which are results in an integral constants only, not the floating point value. Therefore it will give an error stating that switch quantity to an integer. Okay, right, so let's consider the next part. uh, Float value is not allowed as a constant value in case label. Only integer constant expressions are allowed in the case label. That is, for example, case, you are putting some float constant value like 3.4, which is not allowed. So it will produce an error stating that case label does not reduce to an integer constant. On the other hand, we are writing three expressions like this, 3 plus 3, which finally results in an integral constant is allowed, and hence the choice, like, it is going to produce the right output. So in this case, x value is 23, and 4 into 5 is 12, so 20 plus 3, 23. Therefore this case is going to get evaluated properly, and choice will 2 will be printed. Okay, now let's consider the fourth fact. Variable expressions are not allowed in case label, although macros are allowed. For example, here I am taking three variables of x, y, and z, and I am writing case label is y, and one of the case label is z. Okay, so these are the variables. Variables are not allowed in case label. So therefore, this is going to give the output as error, has case label does not reduce to an integer constant, although macros are allowed. For example, define, has defined y equals to 2, has defined z equals to 23. These are the macros, and here we are using these macros as case labels y and z, and these are not the variables. Remember, these are the macros, and they are allowed inside the switch. Therefore this will be not producing any error. The output is going to be number is 2. Okay, right, so let's consider the fifth case. Default can be placed anywhere inside switch. It will still get evaluated if no match is found. That means what? Let's say, take the example. Default is the first one itself, right? So default need not to be after the, it need not to be the last one. It can be placed anywhere. It can be even in the middle also. It can be last, first, anywhere. But it will be always get evaluated after checking all the cases only. If no case is matching, then only it will be going to the default. Okay, that is, if no cases are matching, then only the default. Okay, so here the x equals to 2, therefore it will be 2 is compared with the case 1 first, but it is not equal, therefore this printf will be not getting executed. However, case 2 will be evaluated, so it is going to print number is 2. Okay, and the output will be number is 2. Okay, so hope you people have understood this fact. Okay, so default can be placed anywhere, so that is a worth noting point for this one. Okay, right, so thank you for watching. Okay, right, so done.